Guys, something has been brought to my attention, and it's something that I can no longer turn a blind eye to, because this is a growing epidemic. It's been a problem for a while now, but here we sit in the year 2022, where Machine Gun Kelly can't seem to help himself when it comes to butchering the classics. I'm talking about cover songs. He has a long history of it, and obviously this is a tradition for artists to cover somebody else, whether that be in concert, in the live lounge, or maybe just uploading something to YouTube. MGK has checked all of those boxes and then some, but what he's forgotten is that he's a terrible singer, and 9 times out of 10, it really feels like he is just slaughtering these performances. After MGK just made the world scratch their heads by putting out a Frank Ocean cover, I thought to myself, how can I break down MGK's history with cover songs? So we're gonna go through and look at some of his most infamous ones and do a tier ranking, including a reaction to Swim Good, which I'm going to insert now, because what better way to open up the video? Alright, here we go.
Hey, that's a pretty big trunk on my Linkin.
Just the fact that we're like 5 seconds in and he's already gone like a or a eh. The pitch shift. No.
And I got this black suit on, riding around like I'm ready for a funeral.
I feel like the only black suit that MGK would have on is one, either the thing from American Horror Story, because who knows what him and Megan Fox are into, or two, the other black and white suit, the thing that he proposed to Megan Fox in, the Foot Locker uniform.
I'm about to drive in the ocean, take off this suit, and swim good, and swim good.
See, this is what we get when Frank Ocean just delays his Coachella headlining performance like by another year. Each time we're gonna get an MGK cover. It's kind of sad that this is where we're at. I gave it a couple of listens, and I straight up think this does not work at all. I think his voice, even some of the auto-tune that's used, trying to kind of make this into a rock ballad, it's a total flop and fail. This is starting us off at the F tier.
Don't you stop loving me, don't quit loving me.
You always know a cover's gonna be great when the artist in question starts off the song by FaceTiming Marilyn Manson.
What up, dude?
Yeah, that one did not age well, but beyond that, I just really hate the kind of slow, chuggy guitars on this one that are trying so hard to lay down a more dominant but airy, breathy mood. I think that Kel's voice is just all over the place, tonally inconsistent. He sounds especially nasally on this one, and considering how strong of a song and a performance that Rihanna gives on the original track, obviously this one was trying to kind of go in a different direction, but this one just stabs the heart of what it was meant to be, and we're opening up on back-to-back fucking F tier.
I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. I've become so tired, so much more aware.
This one was a shockingly sincere moment that actually shook me a little bit because I wasn't expecting it. It came out about a week after Chester Bennington took his own life, and you can definitely feel the pain in his vocal approach on this one. It's definitely different to what he normally does, but I appreciate the dissonant pianos in the background, and I think his vocal style definitely doesn't try to copy Chester, and that's why it actually works. I'll actually put this one in the A tier. And back to ground zero, we have a totally botched vocal take that just to me, this proves that MGK could shovel manure straight down his fans' throats and they would say thank you, because this in no way is anything close to the realm of good. I guess you could point to the instrumental and say, hey, that's really good, that's competent, but it's a shining note-for-note replication of what Misery Business by Paramore is, so yes, I guess you did the trick by actually covering the song, but we have to suffer through MGK stumbling over himself and just sloshing on the auto-tune. This one is so whack, and while I guess musically it is listenable, this is still going in the D.
Reminiscing on when life was different, spending every day at Chuck E. Cheese.
I think this might be the worst cover on the entire list, and I know that it's only like a half cover. He adds his own original verses, he does that sometimes when he's covering music, and with this one, he invited the lead vocalist Kellen Quinn from Sleeping with Sirens, and it's agonizing. This is just slaughtering right on the grave. It's pissing on the grave of the original song by Rise Against, and the production on this track is so overblown, it feels plastic. I do appreciate the acoustic version of the song a little bit more, but I'm ranking studio versions if they're available, and based on the studio version, F this. While this was done for fun at a show, I just feel like the vocals sound so nonchalant, so rough. I mean, it's even worse than when Tom DeLonge is not on his A game performing live, especially in his later years before he exited Blink for the second time. He was really starting to sound bad. MGK is definitely hitting that level, if not worse. I think the instrumental sounds pretty bad. It sounds like it might have been kind of an on-the-fly thing, so it's a little harder to rank than some of the others, but just based on what we got, I gotta throw this down in the D.
I've been walking through a world gone blind. Can't stop thinking of your diamond mind.
I'm definitely feeling torn on his Billie Eilish cover, and he covered this song apparently because Billie Eilish is his daughter's favorite artist, and I don't think his voice sounds very good. In fact, he's really grating on that hook. He just sounds kind of out of key, out of touch. It feels like he loses the meaning of the song, but I also don't mind the verses. That's why I played a clip from a verse, because I think the hook can be misleading. I'm gonna be nice and just chop it up to a C tier, because it's not all that bad, but it's definitely not all that great.
Are justified for wearing the badge they have chosen white. You justify those who die.
Even the idea of this cover existing definitely gave me an internal panicky feeling, because people covering Rage can either go really great, like Denzel Curry, Bulls on Parade comes to mind, or really, really bad or weird. I was expecting MGK and Travis Barker doing Killing in the Name to just fall on that side of the fence, but it's honestly not awful. I do feel that they were justified in making this one. It came out about a week after the Black Lives Matter protests began in June 2020 in the wake of the murder of George Floyd. I was a little worried at the time, not just because of them doing a Rage cover, but also a couple of white guys, maybe it could feel a little fishy with them doing something, capitalizing on this, but I do feel it was for a good cause. It felt like there was heart behind the performance, and I think I'm gonna put this one all the way up in the B.
Just say you won't let go. Yeah.
And I never thought for a minute.
Let's finish out the tier list with this cover of Say You Won't Let Go, originally by the British artist James Arthur. I can't really stand the original song. It's just so formulaic and bland and AC top 40 bullshit. And their spin on it, the mixing and the live lounge, it's not doing them any favors. This is MGK and Camila Cabello, and I think her voice is kind of a saving grace here. She sounds great, but MGK just feels awkward and clunky, like he's kind of shoehorning himself in, even though he's credited as the lead artist on this. He did a song with Camila called Bad Things. It's pretty rough. It does not hold up well for me. And this cover in particular that came out around that time in 2016, I believe, is just sounding so dated. I'm going to throw this one down in the D tier. Well, wasn't that a fun field trip to the History Museum of all things Colson Baker, aka Machine Gun Kelly, and his history with covering songs? What do you think about his covers? Do you like them so much more than me, or do you hate them even more than I do? Let me know in the comments section. Please leave a like, and I'll be back soon with more right here on Beyond ARTV, so subscribe.